It's supposed to be like super gory. You know we're having monster fun, okay? He writes her love letters. I mean, we gotta be slitting throats here with some barber knives, right? Hey guys, what's going on? I hope you're doing well. So this week, it's the beginning of September, so obviously it's spooky season. Okay, that's a fact. It's Halloween time. I'm sure a lot of you are like me and you want to read about monsters, you want creepy stuff, you want all the gore and the blood that you can get, but you still kind of want like kisses and some spice. All right, because we're romance readers, man, so we want a little spiciness with our monsters. Okay. Because of that, I needed some books because I don't really have any on my shelves that kind of meet the Halloween spooky, creepy, gory vibes with the kisses. So I went down a little bit of a black hole on Amazon, like I do, because it's one of my favorite freaking pastimes, and I found a bunch of books. The list that I have, I have nine books here for you, but I'm so excited. I literally have like death, I have vampires, I have the Mothman, I have freaking plague doctors at the Phantom of the Opera. I have Sweeney freaking Todd. I got a bunch of psychos. I got Insane Asylum. I got a bunch of bloody, gory goodness and potentially clowns. So I'm ready. I'm so ready for Halloween. All right. Including there's one. It's literally marketed as a slasher romance. So I don't know. Maybe we need to do a read along for that. It doesn't come out until literally Halloween, but I feel like we should read it together because it's also supposed to be humorous. But anyways, I digress. I got 9 books here. They're all supposed to be very steamy, so just be aware of that. I'm sure quite a few of them are going to be dark because we got the monsters, so check your trigger warnings. The first one is kind of almost more of like a bonusy because I don't really know the storyline, but I'm 100% basing it off of the title and the book cover. It's literally called Circus Creeps. I think it's got to be about clowns. I'm kind of hoping that it's about clowns. Okay, you guys, I know that this is probably terrible lighting and maybe even terrible audio and probably a bad shot, but hear me out. The blurb is up and oh my freaking God, we have to read this together, okay? Like we do. So just hear me out. Our girl, she's a succubus, okay? And they're at like this creep show, this circus thing, but it's like a carnival of corpses. Say freaking less. Carnival of Corpses, I'm here for it. But it gets better, okay? Because this is a reverse harem, apparently. And just hear me out. We got a demonic ringmaster, a broody hellhound shifter. What's up? I haven't read about the hellhounds, and he's a shifter. Hell yeah, babe. And then this is the best part, okay? And the incubi clown twins, called Riff and Raff, by the way, because that's just absolute perfection. I love the author already. Haven't read her before, but this is going to be a spicy son of a bitch, let me tell you. There's this great line literally in this blurb that says, basically, the circus doesn't take half-bloods, and she's half succubus, and so she's trying to convince them that she totally needs to be in the carnival, right? And it says she's willing to do anything, even if it means adopting an entirely different kind of sword swallowing act. Need I say freaking more? Okay, so that's that. Oh my God, and it has gore. It has gore, you guys. Oh my God. Okay, I really hope that this book is for me. I'm excited. Okay, that's it. Let's carry on with the rest of the video. Cheers. The second one, this is actually one of 2 on this list that are a little bit more sweet. They definitely still have the spice. I don't think they're going to be as spicy as the other ones, but they still have spice to them. Just want to be clear on that. But it's much more sweet sort of romance. It starts off very sweet. It's called Death's Obsession. And from what I can tell, it sounds like Death is very much, he's still going to feel like a god and he's going to be like a total cinnamon roll. Like he's just absolutely adoring of this girl. But our girl here, she was in an accident and she loses all of her loved ones, but she can see death and she can see him taking everyone, but he doesn't take her. And it sounds like he kind of becomes enamored with her at this scene. And then after that, he just starts looking over her. He hangs out in the corner of her bedroom, watches over her. He talks to her, does some other stuff I'm imagining in her dreams. And she keeps trying to like chase him and get to be with him, but he constantly will not take her. He always leaves her alive. So I'm kind of intrigued by that plot line. I want to see where it goes. words. But the other thing, like honestly, the sentence that just like killed me a little bit, I'm so easy when it comes to books, I swear to God. But it says that he writes her love letters. So that's sweet. That's really cute. I want to check it out. It's only like 176 pages too, so I feel like that's an easy, quickie little read that we could check out. But speaking of sweet stuff, the other book that I have on this list, this is actually a male-male storyline, and it's about vampires. But what I saw in the comments essentially was that a lot of people said the vampire in it, he's written differently than a lot of other books that you've seen. He's a very sweet vampire. All right. But this whole thing is a series, technically. This is the second book, but you can read it as a standalone. So just want to be clear about that. But it's following the storyline of this human who is a detective. He has just come off of finding out that shifters are a thing. And his boss has started to like breathe down his neck. His boyfriend has like just broken up with him, and it sounds like it was pretty heartbreaking. So he just wants to like blow off steam because he's just living in chaos right now. So he heads to a bar, ends up having a one-night stand, and he ends up being with a vampire. So he just finds out that vampires are now a thing too. So you can imagine his whole life is just like, it's going berserk right now. But he ends up falling in love with this vampire from what I can tell. They have a very sweet, adoring romance. But the problem is right when they start to get together and have their romance, people just start dying around him. There's a bunch of gruesome acts happening. And he starts to question whether or not this vampire is actually the serial killer, because he's the detective. So he wants to have this romance with this man, but he also has to solve this mystery, which sounds like as the reader, we get to do that with him. So it definitely has a lot of promise. I'm excited about it. I'm a little nervous in the sense of the last male book I read was also a detective, the cat one. So I'm imagining it's gotta be better than that, but it is making me a wee bit nervous. But anyways, moving on from there, the rest are pretty much reverse harem, except for the last one that I'm like, super excited about, want to do that read along with you. But this fourth one, it's our first reverse harem here. It's supposed to be like super gory, and it sounds like it's got to be kind of comedic. Definitely has storyline, but it sounds like it's just gonna kind of be crazy fun. But it's called Cute But Psycho. Tons of great ratings on this, a lot of great comments too. But the whole premise behind this is that there's supernaturals out there. There's paranormal creatures, everybody knows about them. And the most powerful ones, it sounds like society is kind of keeping in this insane asylum. They're the most powerful out of anybody in the world, absolutely crazy powers. And their family and this institution is trying to tell them, you're a danger to yourself, you're a danger to society, you need to take this medication. That way it will diminish their powers. But once they do that, these scientists start taking advantage of them and doing really inhumane experiments. So you can imagine these people want out. Okay, they're gonna try and escape. And that's exactly what this book is gonna be. Our girl, she has, it sounds like 3 guys that she's gonna be with. One of them actually being her therapist, even though he's actually in the insane asylum himself, but he's a serial killer vampire. We have an insanely strong shifter. I believe he's a werewolf shifter. And then a super, super venomous basilisk. So we got a snake character here. And our girl, it sounds like she's powerful in some way, but it sounds like she is legitimately crazy. Like she's an absolute psycho, but they work together to kind of break out. So they stop taking their medication, and I think they're gonna attack the scientists, and it's gonna be gruesome and gory and wild. And then they're gonna have a lot of like just steamy scenes. Okay. It also, I believe, mentioned that there's going to be male scenes in this as well. I think a lot of the reverse harems that I have, there's going to be male scenes, male-female, and then group scenes. So be aware of that. But this is definitely supposed to deliver on the spice and deliver on the gore, babes. So I'm excited about that one. But the next one, this one again is a reverse harem. This has gargoyles in it. But this is actually a play. It's an interpretation of Phantom of the Opera. But essentially we have Christine Daniels. She's a young opera singer, and she's going to this one opera house to perform because there's going to be agents. So she's thinking that this is going to like kick off her career and whatnot. So she's super excited. excited and nervous. But she heads over, and when she gets there, she starts to feel like she's going crazy because she can hear the walls talking to her, and she can start seeing stone move. And it turns out that there's these 3 gargoyles that as soon as they see her, they just absolutely want her. They want to devour her. It sounds like they're going to be kind of like her phantom, all 3 of them, and she just gets lost in them. So it sounds like it could be like a lot of wild fun. Definitely going to be steamy for sure, because there's a sentence on there saying that they're going to use their claws and their tails. So you know we're having monster fun. Okay. This next one is more polyamory than it is reverse harem, but this is actually the Sweeney Todd one, and this is all male. So we have 2 twins, and then we have a stepbrother. But the twins, it sounds like the family was just trying to like get rid of them. So they put them in an institution, into a prison, basically left them there to die. Sounds like it was a very crude prison. They had a very hard life, which hardened them as men. And they end up escaping. They get out and they want to seek their vengeance on the family. So from their childhood memories, it sounds like the stepbrother was like the golden boy. He was the golden child, could do no wrong. He was so perfect. And when they go to kind of destroy the family, they have this intention of killing him. But they come to find that he's actually just this young, sweet, sort of lonely guy. And they end up, their heart starts to kind of like crumble, and their walls start to kind of crumble down, and they just start to fall in love with him. But it does sound like this is more plot. There is going to be a lot of character development in here. There's going to be gore for sure. I don't know if they gotta end up being barbers, because if it's Sweeney Todd, I mean, we gotta be slitting throats here with some barber knives, right? But not entirely sure. A lot of people did say it's very, very gory. So I'm excited about that. But number 7, this is officially another reverse harem one. And this one I'm actually really excited about because it's got the plague doctor and it's steampunk, and we're in 1920s London, baby. Essentially, we have there's a bunch of monsters really, and humanity, they've really just treated them so atrociously that they've kind of gone underground, and they kind of seek their vengeance out on these humans by randomly going out and doing bad things to innocent people. And they end up taking this woman, bring her underground. There's 3 of them in this particular group. It's an Unseelie, a Mothman, and a demonic plague doctor. The guys with like those crazy masks. But they take her underground, and it sounds like they have the intention of doing something evil, but they end up just falling in love, of course, because it's a romance. Beyond that, I don't really know what happens as far as like the plot. So there's a little bit of mystery there. But this is actually a duet, and I think the 2nd book's already out. But if that's the case, there's got to be some plot to it. It can't be just pure steam, you know? But it does mention that this is definitely going to be a steamy book. All right. The 8th one I have, this one's supposed to have lots of gore, actually. It's another reverse harem. But this is the Monster Clan of Thornfield. And this also sounds like it has a good plot to it. It definitely mentions that it's basically like Jane Eyre meets Interview with a Vampire. So you know there's definitely going to be some plot in there. But our girl, her name is officially Jane. She is a governess, and she's headed to this mansion where these monsters are. This is in Victorian England, by the way, so we got another historical here. But the monsters that live in the mansion, nobody knows that they're monsters, because in this society, they are definitely living in fear of persecution. The monsters that are there are definitely more so in hiding. And we have a vampire, a gargoyle, and a demon. But the demon, I don't really know much about yet. Sounds like he's kind of locked away in another side of the mansion. But the monsters that we do have, the vampire sounds like he's really struggling with continuing on with life. Also because he actually has a romance with the gargoyle. So because they have their relationship that is looked down upon by society, that's immoral and stuff in the society, they can't even really love each other or really even exist because they're just monsters. They're facing such extreme prejudice. So he has this immortality, and he's lived for so long, he's reaching a point of, do I even get to go on? Like, should I go on, or should I just step out into the sunlight and just die? You know? And then the gargoyle, on the other hand, it sounds like he's a little bit more of an enduring one, and he's just suffering because of just living in this life. It's so difficult not being able to love who he loves, and then also not really getting to have the life that he really wants to have, you know? But it doesn't sound like he wants to end his life. But when Jane comes, there's got to be kids in here somewhere if she's a governess and she comes. But she ends up coming, and the gargoyle immediately just has this connection, wants to protect her and save her from everything. I think there's going to be more of a slow burn with the like vampire guy, but I think she will convince him that he shouldn't step out into the light and there is things worth living for. The demon side of things, I really don't know what's going on, you know? So he's just kind of locked in a room from what I can tell right now. So I'll have to see from there. But I was most intrigued by them saying it's basically Jane Eyre meets Interview with a Vampire. That's interesting. I definitely want to know what that's about. So I have that one on the list. It does say it's very, very gory and supposed to be very steamy. So we shall see. But then this last one here, this is Meet at Midnight. This is a slasher romance. Like, it's literally marketed as a slasher romance. So this sounds right up my alley. It mentions that it has dark humor. It's supposed to be spicy. There's basically 2 serial killers on the loose, and they're tired of working against each other and they just want to off each other. And tonight's going to be the night that one of them's going to die, supposedly. But the girl, the femme fatale slasher, if you will, she sends a note saying, meet me at midnight. And they go into this abandoned theme park and they're just going to try to attack each other. So I feel like that's going to be a lot of fun. Like, it's going to feel very much like a movie. I've never read a slasher, so I don't entirely know. But what I'm imagining is it's going to be a lot of just suspense, and there's going to be that humor that it mentioned. There's going to be that gore, and then they're going to fall in love, and then they're not going to know what to do with one another. I kind of still hope one of them dies, because that would just be kind of cool, but it's not a romance at that point. But we'll see. But that's the one that doesn't come out till October 31st. So I think it could be fun if we read it together. I don't know. You let me know, but we could do it like late in the evening. But whatever. But anyways, that's what I got for you. I'm actually off to my vacation now, so I gotta head out. But I hope one of those books sort of jived with you. I feel like there's a good amount on that list where it can help get you through the spooky season, if you will. But I will talk to you guys later. I'll see you over on the Hideaway Discord, or I'll see you next week. All right, bye.